Good evening. For this assignment, I'm going to explain the similarities between CMS and WSET and then talk about C-STEM and how it is a little different. I decided to use an actual glass of wine so I can show how these methods might be used instead of just explaining them. Before taking the class, if you handed me a glass of wine, I probably would have taken a sip and said, I like it, I don't like it, or maybe describe it as sweet, dry, or fruity. I'm learning that professional wine tasting is a lot more structured than that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start with CMS and WSET. This is my glass of wine right here. CMS, which is the Court of Masters, Sommeliers, and WSET, which is the Wine and Spirit Education Trust, have a lot in common. Both give you a step-by-step process for evaluating what's in the glass. The first thing we do is we want to look at the wine. And so with this wine, I can look at the color, the clarity, and see how intense the color is. I'm using the 2022 Oyster Bay Pinot Noir from New Zealand, and I would describe the color as a clear, light ruby with a lighter color intensity. And then next, what we want to do is we're going to use our nose, which is our smell, and we're going to go ahead and swirl the glass. Take a deep sniff. This is where we're looking for different aromas. With this wine, I noticed cherry, raspberry, and a little bit of an earthy tone or earthy aroma. Someone might notice something different, and that's one reason why having a professional vocabulary is helpful. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to taste it. Now I'm thinking about the sweetness, acidity, tannins, alcohol, body, flavors, and the finish. So I would describe this wine as dry with a medium to high acidity, medium tannins, and a light to medium body. I also noticed flavors of cherry and raspberry with a little bit of an earthy character coming through. The biggest similarity between CMS and WSET is that they both teach us how to slow down and evaluate the wine in an organized way. The difference, at least the easiest way for me to remember, is that WSET focuses on systematically describing and evaluating the wine, while CMS can take those characteristics and use them as clues to determine what the wine might be. So with that being said, let's move on to C-STEM. How is C-STEM different? C-STEM, or the Kramer Spirits Tasting Enhancement Method, takes the tasting process a little further. Instead of stopping after describing what's in my glass, C-STEM has me think about how I can use the information in a real-world situation. For example, let's say I describe the wine as dry, fruity, medium to full-bodied with noticeable tannins. Now I can start thinking about questions. Who might enjoy this wine? What food would I pair it with? When would I recommend it? Where might it fit into a restaurant or a wine market? If I were recommending this Pinot Noir, I might pair it with a salmon or a roasted chicken because it's a lighter body and the acidity pair well with these foods without overpowering them. That's what stands out to me about C-STEM. I'm not asking what am I tasting, I'm thinking what can I do with this information. So putting it all together, the easiest way for me to remember the three systems is that WSET helps describe and evaluate what's in the glass. CMS helps me use those characteristics as clues to determine what the wine might be. And C-STEM takes what I've learned from tasting and connects it to a practical decision. So I'm definitely not at the point where I can take a sip and tell you exactly what grape it is, where it came from, and what year it was made, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. My goal right now is to get better at explaining why I like the wine instead of just taking a sip and saying I like this one or I don't like this one. So I'm happy about that. So I'm excited and I can't wait for the next assignment.